Hey friends, and welcome back to our channel. Are you considering moving to Utah? In today's video, we're going to give you 4 things you need to know before making the move here to Utah.
So we have a lot of people who watch our channel that are relocating from other states and even from other countries, and they do want to know what it's actually like to live in Utah and what they need to know if they plan on making a move. So we're going to walk you through the 4 things that are must-knows before you make the move. Make sure that you do stick around until the end, because number 4 is something that we get asked all the time.
If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living, eating, sleeping, working, and playing in northern Utah, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in northern Utah.
So we are Sloan and Kim Peterson with the Peterson Group, and we've been in real estate for about 10 years, and every day we help people just like you looking to buy, sell, and invest in northern Utah, and we do absolutely love it. Whether you're moving 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All the information's in the description below so we can help you make that smooth transition to northern Utah. Let's go ahead and get into it.
So the first thing, and one we talk about frequently here on our channel, is actually the weather in Utah. Now you do get all 4 seasons here in Utah, which is really nice, but what some people might not expect is how extreme both the cold and hot months can get. In summer, we experience a dry heat here in Utah with a wind that can often feel like opening an oven door. It can be dangerous to be outdoors during these times, so you definitely want to make sure if you are doing any outdoor activities, you do those either early in the morning or late at night. If you have a job outdoors, make sure to always have plenty of water and sunscreen. And oftentimes we see those working outdoors during the heat of the day with maybe a thin long sleeve shirt and for sure a hat to try and protect their skin and head. A lot of the construction companies in Utah have their employees working overnight or start early in the morning hours to avoid those extreme heat hours. But I know landscapers and jobs like that just kind of have to deal with it. In the winter, we get extremely cold temperatures that are again dry. So if you do have any sort of lung issues, it can get really hard in the winter time. There's also lots of dry skin, chapped lips, things like that. We experience a lot of inversion due to our air quality issues here, and that's mainly all in the winter time, especially if we go long periods without a storm. Again, something we've talked about and actually done a whole video about on our channel, which you can check out here, is the snow. Now it is really nice to enjoy the snow, especially if you are into winter sports like skiing or snowboarding, but something to keep in mind is you also have to drive in it, maintain your home in it, and all things you might not think about when you actually have to live in a state that has heavy snowfall. One plus is that we have the absolute most beautiful fall and spring seasons, especially in the mountains where you can get a glimpse of all the beautiful colors, in fall with the oranges, reds, and yellows, and in spring with all the green, lush growth. So there are definitely times here that are near perfect in temperature and surroundings.
So the second topic that we wanted to talk about is the cost of living. Now again, we've mentioned this on our channel a ton of times because people really have that perception that cost of living is still really low in Utah. And while affordability is relative, what we can say is that the cost of living has definitely increased over the past few years. Whether it's paying rent or paying a mortgage, the cost of living here has gone up substantially. When it comes to other daily amenities such as groceries, utilities, or gas, those things are going to be quite in line with what you expect to see across the rest of the country. Gas is not quite as high as you would see in California, but in terms of other western states or the Midwest, it is a bit higher than the national average. Rent across the state is averaging between $1,700 to $2,500 a month, depending on the size of the rental, and we are seeing higher rents the last few years for sure. Our median home price here sits around $525,000. Of course that varies, and the further you move from Salt Lake City, which is obviously our main city, the lower the median does go. But in terms of what you might be able to find in the Midwest or smaller cities, in other western states, we're definitely going to see higher home prices in our market than we've been experiencing in the past.
Another point we want to talk about is access to the outdoors. Now you have easy access to hiking and biking trails, ski resorts, and a ton of parks and nature centers from virtually any city you live in here in Utah. One of the main reasons many people move to the area and also stay in the area is because of its outdoor recreation and just the sheer beauty of the state. Like Sloan likes to say, we truly live in a postcard. The drawback to this, however, is how crowded and busy it has gotten. Now, cities are trying to combat the overcrowding and traffic issues by setting up infrastructure changes, such as putting in gondolas that would free up some of the traffic issues getting up the canyons. But those take time and are an ongoing process. So at least for a little while, we have to get used to everything just being more busy than they used to be. Obviously, for every plus, there are going to be some drawbacks. And for me personally, I'd rather have the access we have to outdoor activities and have some overcrowding than have to drive a few hours to experience the beautiful outdoors. So just mainly something to consider or expect if you are looking to move here for the outdoor adventures.
All right, so last, and something that I think anyone relocating to Utah has a question about, is of course the Mormon religion and its influence on your daily life. We've done several other videos on this topic, so definitely go back and watch some of our other videos if you haven't already done so. In terms of religion, Mormonism is the dominant religion here in Utah. However, as with most states, the larger cities do have a less of a population of any one single religion than maybe the smaller suburbs that do surround the area. For example, Salt Lake has only about 25 to 30% of its residents labeling themselves as Mormon, as opposed to Utah County, which is closer to around that 75% mark. In terms of day-to-day life, especially as an adult, it's not really going to affect your daily life that much. Of course, there might be some minor inconveniences, such as having to buy your wine or liquor at the liquor store versus just going to the grocery store. But overall, you're not really going to feel that much of an effect. A lot of our clients or people that are moving from, another state into Utah do kind of ask, how does that affect the children, right? Are the children going to be outcasted or bullied or just kind of shamed, really? And I like to say is I actually did grow up non-Mormon in Utah, and of course I did feel a little bit of influences, like when people were going to church and I wasn't really invited to those things. I didn't really feel like I was shunned or really outcasted too much, and I feel like that's changed a little bit as well since I've gotten older, where we do have a little bit more of a diversity. And even if people are religious and of that Mormon faith, I feel like they're a little more open-minded these days than they were back when I was a kid. So of course you're going to have different areas to where you might feel, a little more religious pressure than, some other areas. But overall, I feel like everyone in Utah is very welcoming, very friendly, and regardless of what religion they are, you're really going to be, welcomed in as a Utahn. So of course, like I said, there are going to be some exceptions to that, and I have experienced some of those myself as I was growing up. But like I was saying, really in the bigger cities, you're not really going to feel that as much. And then you just want to do your own research to see, what is your lifestyle like, if that's going to be an issue, for you or maybe your kids and things like that. So don't let that worry you. Obviously, I'm not in no way, shape, or form advocating that, there's places you should or shouldn't live. You just want to do a little bit of research to make sure, wherever you do choose to pick to call your home in Utah, that you have done some research so you can see, does this match my lifestyle there? All right, so that wraps up our video on the top 4 things that you need to know before deciding to call Utah your home. As we've said before, picking a place to live is a very personal decision, and every state is going to have its own set of cons. Our hope is that we educate you so that you can make the best decision for you and your family on where you want to call home.
Picking where you'll call home is an important decision, and we would love to help you make that smooth transition here to Northern Utah. If you're looking to purchase a home in the Northern Utah area, we would love to help you out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We truly love talking with you guys and helping you make the journey to your Utah home. Until next time, we're keeping it real estate.